What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mr. Mike Lewis back at you with another video you already know. And today we're going to be talking about not being an open book. Don't be an open book. Be the secret treasure, especially if you're an introvert. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. You need to subscribe because there's so much cool content coming to this channel and I don't want you to miss it. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification icon as well. Make sure you like this video and make sure you comment down below whether you liked it or you didn't like this video. And of course, if there's a specific topic that you want me to cover in this channel, leave it down below. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So don't be an open book. So you probably heard this phrase out there that, oh, you should be an open book. You should be 100% honest with your life and pretty much just let everybody know who you are and pretty much don't reserve anything, right? Just put yourself out there. Just put everything out there, whatever, somebody asks you about something, just let them know, whatever it is. They ask you about, what do you do for fun? What do you do here? What's going on here? How much do you make here with this and that, right? Just let everybody know. Be an open book, right? Let everybody know. Just be honest with the entire world. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Especially if you're an introvert, you know exactly how just wrong this feels. I mean, so if you're an introvert, I'm pretty sure you're already not doing it. Or perhaps you are, maybe because, I remember doing this back in the day because I didn't actually know that I was an introvert. So I would pretty much, put myself out there, whatever they asked me, I'd be like, yeah, here, this is what I do, that, every single question I was asked, I would always respond, and pretty much, like if they asked for an explanation for something that I had done, I always explained myself. I was always putting myself out there. Anything they ask me, I will put it out there. And this is very wrong, like I said, especially as an introvert, because here's the thing. First of all, people need to actually get through you. They have to put in some effort, especially as an introvert, because you as an introvert, you have a lot of value. You have a lot to offer as far as your personality, your intelligence, your ability to listen, and so on and so forth. What makes you really an introvert. If you want to learn what your potential is and what you can offer as an introvert, make sure you subscribe, like I said, because in this channel, I'll teach you everything that you need to know as far as being an introvert, and how to really tap into your potential as far as your introvert abilities. But just know that you carry a lot of value. And so because of that, you can't just be giving away everything. You just can't. So make sure that when people are asking you stuff or, people want to know a certain thing about you, make sure you always reserve it or give a very generic answer. Why? Because people have to work for it. Always make people work for it. Always give people that room so that they work for actually getting the answer from you. Now, this works for two reasons. First of all, you're creating separation between the people who just ask questions, because believe me, there's a lot of people, especially extroverts, who just love to ask you questions. They love to ask you what do you do here? What do you do there? They ask one question after another, right? As if it were an interrogation or some sort of, something like that. And that's just very wrong. You never want to operate under that certain circumstance. You never want to give in, because it's just wrong. It's just wrong. You never want to do something like that because it's just wrong. And so the thing is that every time that happens, it's very just awkward. It's very uncomfortable. And this other person, for the most part, if they're an extrovert, they probably don't even know that it's happening. They're just asking their questions one after another. And so you never really just want to give away your answers like that. Because for the most part, first of all, this extrovert is probably doesn't even care. They're probably not even listening. And they're just asking questions just because, who knows, maybe you're an introvert and you seem like a pretty quiet person. So they think that just by asking you a bunch of questions, they're going to get you to pretty much socialize and pretty much start talking to them and everything. But that's not how it works, okay? That's not how you actually get an introvert to actually open up. If you know anything about it, you as an extrovert, maybe you're watching this video, you're thinking that you can just have an introvert just open up, what is this, So if you're an introvert and this is something that's currently happening to you, they start asking you questions, you can either give them bland answers, you can do whatever it is that you can to pretty much eject yourself from that situation and pretty much try to avoid this person from moving forward, because this person is not an actual person that you can actually be around with. Because somebody who constantly asks questions like that, that just means that they lack communication skills. Because if you know anything about communication skills, and I will be making communication videos here in this channel moving forward, but as far as communication goes, you can't just be asking the other person a bunch of questions and stuff like that, and just to create conversation. That's just very weird. Because if you just constantly ask questions like, what are you? Are you a cop or something? Like, only like police officers are the ones out there, who have that right to just come up to you and start asking you questions without actually having to engage into a conversation. But other than that, there's and even then, that situation itself feels pretty uncomfortable. But at that point, it kind of makes sense, because if a police officer is asking you for your information and stuff like that, it's probably because you did something wrong, or perhaps you're involved in some sort of something, right, that requires them for them to do that. But that's pretty much their job. But if a person is doing it, that's just very weird, and you should be very suspicious about that, because what's going on there? Why do they want to know so much about it? So this is pretty much why you don't always want to be an open book with these people. You don't want to constantly respond to them, because they probably don't care and they just lack communication skills. So it's kind of pointless to even engage, because for what? There's no purpose there. There's no reason to bond with this person. Like I said, this person has issues and they got to fix them. And so, yeah. And the second one is trust. Because here's the thing, like, as an introvert, we're very careful as to who we trust. And so we understand that not everybody's trustable. No matter how good the person is, at the end of the day, not everybody's trustable. And the trust, it really comes down to, you got to see this person, how they operate under very different circumstances. So you got to see how they react when there's an issue. You got to see how they react when they are going through some sort of crisis. You got to see how they behave when they're, struggling at work. They're trying to accomplish something. You got to see them how they react. Maybe you want to see them how they react around their relationship, as far as like their partners. You want to see them how they behave with their friends, with strangers, and stuff like that. And so you want to see them in every single one of these situations. And once you do, then you can determine if this is a person you want to trust. But other than before that, you don't want to. So if there's a person coming up to you and they're trying to like ask you all these questions and stuff, and they're trying to like really get to you, there's no reason for you to be an open book with them, because you don't know this person. You don't know like what they're capable, what they're willing to do. Who knows? Maybe this person is dangerous. Maybe this person is just going to flip on you from one day to another, or they're probably like, who knows? So you can't just be giving away your information and everything about you like right away because of that, because you have to also protect yourself. And so there's got to be that step right there where you just pretty much you reserve these things intentionally. That way, if this is a person that does that, pretty much they'll just pretty much move on, and they'll pretty much just leave you alone and probably move on to the next person and stuff. Now, if this person is real and they actually want to connect with you, they'll come back over and over and over again. However, they won't constantly be asking you questions. Maybe they ask you one or two questions and then they start just talking about themselves. And so this is really what communication is all about. It's all about like, you exchanging. Maybe you ask a question, perhaps you get an answer or not, but if you don't get an answer, that just means that, okay, I just haven't invested enough time into this person. This person doesn't feel comfortable, doesn't trust me yet in order to give me, to tell me, open up a little bit more. So I just have to do a little bit more, Maybe I have to do more opening myself, and so on and so forth. And this is really part of what makes communication effective, as opposed to just asking questions all the time. So those are the reasons why you don't want to be an open book, because you just don't want to be an open book. You don't want, first of all, you don't want people to as far as like the trust goes, you don't want to be trusting pretty much everybody, because you don't know everybody. You don't know them to the core to be trusting them and pretty much be putting yourself out there as an open book. And second of all, you don't know if these people are really worth, your time. As far as like, you investing your time and having to answer all these questions, it's like, why? Like, who are you? Like, so pretty much like you might be wasting your time, trying to answer questions for this other individual when pretty much this individual really means nothing to you. They just bring no value to you, so you'll pretty much just be wasting your time. So always be the secret treasure, like I said at the beginning. So as far as the secret treasure goes, I mean, have you seen any movies as far as like where there's a secret treasure or something along those lines? There's usually like a lot of effort put into that, right? The people who are on the journey, they usually have to go through all these obstacles in order to get to the secret treasure. Make people do that with you as well. Especially if you're an introvert, make people jump through hoops. Make people, try to get you to actually open up and be vulnerable to them. Because if you see, most of them don't actually try enough. And if the point of entry to your life is very easy, first of all, the way they get into your life is as fast as they're gonna get out of it. So if you're letting people into your life very easily, that's how easy they're gonna leave as well. Because there was no investment from their part. There was no investment for them to be like, oh, I had to go through all this and that and that and that, in order to get to that. The reason why people value secret treasure so much is because of all the obstacles, all the searching, all the energy that's put into actually finding that secret treasure, all the obstacles and all the pain, sometimes struggle that they have to go through in order to actually find it. Make people go through that too. At the end of the day, make sure that you value yourself just as much as that treasure, and make people like insist in being in your life. Like, make sure they actually want to be there and not just want to take something from you. They don't just want to know something about you and then later like they use it against you and they try to break you or something like that, because that's just the worst. So especially for an introvert. So you as an introvert, if you're already doing this, which I'm assuming probably you're already doing this, because introverts, that's really how we naturally let people into our lives. We usually make them work for it. We usually don't really accept people just that easily, because first of all, we just enjoy our own solitude. So it really takes somebody who has to be very special in order for us to actually want to break that solitude and actually want to spend time with that person. So, but yeah, just understand to always be the secret treasure. Always be looking to make people work for it. Make people actually put in that effort, put in that energy in order to get into your life. And then after a while, they've already tried a lot, and you feel like this is a person you can trust. You feel like you feel very comfortable around this person. Then at that point, you can go ahead and allow yourself to be an open book, okay? Because like I said, an open book is an open book. There is no lock to it. And if you know anything about books, you can just grab a book and just open it, and you can know anything you want about that book within seconds, pretty much. You flip to the desired page and there it is. You can read the secret treasure, not so much. You have to go and do the research. You have to go and find it, and then you have to go through the obstacles. Maybe you go through a few puzzles here and there in order to get to the secret treasure. Make people do that with your life as well. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification icon. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.